Welcome back to another great Wednesday with Jim Black and Tristan. What's up, Jim?
Good morning. Good to see
How
you.
are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. It's Wednesday. It's a short week, so we're almost to Friday, and kids are getting out of school. So we'll see how that goes. It's always fun to see them have a summer and all the activities and camps and all that stuff. So
That makes you busier.
it does make it busier for sure, but it's always fun. So how you
All
doing?
right.
You having a good
Good,
week?
man. Good. We're having a good week this week. But I want to talk about two things. One I've heard of, which is the lock-in effect, but I want to know your take on it. And number two is something called free model, which I hadn't heard of until you sent it over. Let's start with the mortgage lock-in effect. I thought at some point when we were ending last year, you and I were talking, and I thought, we're heading into the mid fives percent of home mortgage loans. And I thought, man, that's going to be amazing. I think we're going to start seeing more people finally start selling. They're getting comfortable. It's getting closer, but it's not happening the way I thought it would. And people are still selling, but where do you think we are with the lock-in effect and what's next?
Absolutely. So the lock-in effect is also called the anchoring effect. And that simply, for those that don't know what that is whatever interest rate you have today, you probably have less than 4%. On average, if you've refinanced in the last 6 or 7 years, those are the rates available. And every
Hmm.
time rates go higher from that rate you have today, it makes you more unlikely to move, unlikely to make a big decision because it's going to cost you more to make that move. And so what we find is that we were on a good trend of rates going lower, like we mentioned last year. As
Hmm.
we get closer to 5%, a lot of inventory and anchoring gets the pressure gets released. So unfortunately, rates are going higher right now because of the inflationary pressures. So that puts more pressure on people to not make a move because it's going to cost them more, almost double their interest expense if they make a move right now versus potentially wait till rates go down, if they do go down soon, to help ease that pressure.
What do you think? What do you think will help? Because I'm hearing from different parts of the government because it's being driven by state governments that maybe no property tax, right? That can help a little bit indirectly. And then I'm hearing a little bit more directly. Well, maybe we should increase the capital gains tax amount. So going from 500K from a married couple to a million. And I'm like, that might ease up everything because now I may not have a as big a loan on that next purchase because I'm saving. Like, is
Absolutely.
that a solution or where do you think we go?
I like two solutions. One is I think IRS needs to increase the deductibility of mortgage interest deduction. Right now, for example, in California, you're only getting a $10,000 deduction of property taxes and mortgage interest if you're in a higher wage earner category. If they open that up to give more deductibility, it would mean people are bringing more of their paycheck home, which would then allow them to either save more money or buy a property to higher value. The second thing I do agree with is the capital gains, long-term capital gains tax for owner occupied properties. If it's owner occupied, you've been there for 40 years, you should be able to have a little bit more relief than someone who may have bought a property in the last year and flipped it for short-term capital gains. I also don't believe that you're going to see property taxes be affected because that property tax basis drives revenue and expansion of benefits to that local community. So if property
Mm.
taxes go away, you'd have a lot of issues around firefighters, safety, schools, parks, utilities, freeways, infrastructure. So I think that would be off the table, in my opinion, because it would drive a lot less um, revenue or investment to those communities. And that would affect your value, your neighborhoods, all that stuff.
I have heard that, man. Okay. I like your solution, so that's good. Now tell me free model because now we talked about sellers or homeowners not selling because they don't have to, they don't feel comfortable maybe giving up that rate. Now I'm looking at this site that you sent me. It says sell your clients' homes faster and for more. So now homeowners that do want to sell, tell me about this.
Absolutely. So what we have here, basically, simply put, is free model is a way to allow you to look at your property and make sure you get the most revenue from a pre-listing renovation loan. So a lot of
Okay.
people are stuck in their properties for a long time. Think of your parents. Your
Yep.
parents age, they've been in the house for 30 years. They think that their cool wallpaper from 1978 still in style, or their kitchen cabinets that they remodeled with oak cabinets back in 1998 is still
Hmm.
in. Well, unfortunately, it's not in. So what you have is a lot of companies have been structured to help those homeowners get top dollar for their improvements. So they're looking to make sure that $1 of renovation gets them at least $1 back of value, or allows them to have a house that's more sellable or attracting more of a buyer pool, especially with rates going higher. There are less buyers that are looking for projects. They're looking for turnkey solutions. So free model allows you to have a licensed contractor give a bid of a property. This is all driven from the local real estate environment, by the way. So the agent teams up with free model. Free model can do projects anywhere from 50,000 to $1 million. As long as those renovations can happen in a 4 to 6 month window of time, they're a licensed contractor, like I mentioned. They have a design team, they have a whole project management application. The financing gets done up front on the equity of the property so that a borrower doesn't have to bring money in to close. And that should
Hmm.
allow them to get a lot more return on their investment for their long, they've been in the property for 15, 20, 30 years. They should get the value of that improvement, not some wholesale fix and flip company looking to basically take someone's equity that they've worked hard for. So free model allows.
Can you tell me then if I'm looking at free model right now,
Yep.
is this something that I have to pay up front? Does it play on the closing? What if it doesn't sell? Give me the details.
Free model is built into your equity. So we get a loan from a third party vendor like myself that allows us to have the equity built in. There's normally no interest payment on the loan. The goal is to sell the property. So normally an agent is the one that brings free model into the opportunity. So they're
Hmm.
looking at a 6 month or less time horizon and window of time. So the sellers normally already signed a pre-listing agreement or something like that. So they're very motivated to sell. It just gives people more peace of mind. So if it doesn't sell, they could refinance that debt into some other long-term debt. But 9 times out of 10, they're selling within a very tight window of time because they've priced their home correctly. They know a bid for the work they need to do, and they're making that decision. Do I do the work or do I sell as is? So it's getting people to have that call to action quicker to free up that decision-making process. So people are,
So, got
they
it.
get a
So for me,
value. Yeah.
I'm thinking about this and I'm making this probably one of my offers on a pitch, on a listing presentation, right? So now I have calc, right? I've got because I'm now that I met you, I'm like so I have so many other options. I have calc, I have free model, and I probably have other things too. But now I can stand out better as a listing agent. And I think it's all about giving the client the most options possible. But I'm going to tie something to this, Jim, because we also hear all these other companies that come in and then they leave and then they make us look bad. I think here is where it matters who we team up with. So what are their experiences? What are people saying about these companies? And so far, everyone you've sent our way has been really good. So I like, dude, I didn't even know about Free Model, but it makes sense, especially with in my area, Los Angeles, people are staying in their homes up to 18 years now, right? So that means there are going to be people that are staying in their homes way longer. And that means when I go and look at the home, it needs help. And they want to sell it and they want to get the most amount of money. This makes sense. I like this. This is good, man.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to message you because I have questions about this.
You got it.
Thanks, bud. Everybody. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.